people here who are here to come and participate in the conference, this very important conference on community participation in school governance. I will acknowledge the representative of the Honourable Minister of Education, ably represented here by the Deputy Director, and the Deputy Executive Secretary of UBEC, also the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Education, Honourable Aminu Suleiman, who gave such a wonderful speech just now. So, good morning to all of you. I'm very pleased to be here to offer a goodwill message on behalf of the UK government. And the theme of today's meeting, Making Communities Work for Better Schools, is a very important pillar of DFID support to education here in Nigeria. And it's very much in line with our global strategy to support better access and learning for all. In Nigeria, the establishment of school-based management committees has been a major focus of reform efforts in the country to get communities more engaged in improving education. The aim has been to ensure a strong link between the education system and its main clients, the children and parents that it serves, to strengthen accountability and improve decision-making for better education service delivery. In recent years, the UK, with other development partners, have been working very closely with the government of Nigeria, particularly the Universal Basic Education Commission, to support the national rollout of SBMCs. And many state governments, many of whom are represented here today, have responded impressively and taken up the task, replicating effective SBMC models in tens of thousands of primary schools across Nigeria. And there are now calls to extend this model to junior secondary schools as well. Earlier this year, ESPIN carried out some research with a number of SBMCs across the country, and this research has found that many of them are working very hard to improve education. SBMCs are generating additional funding and support to improve their schools. They've approached community members, philanthropists, and local businesses to fund their school improvement plans. Although poverty in many communities is limiting the extent to which SBMCs are able to really drive forward the significant changes that are needed in schools. SBMCs are also working closely with school leaders, with headmasters and headmistresses, and with local government officials to address the very challenging staffing issues that are affecting schools, particularly around the deployment and performance management of teachers. And SBMCs have carried out basic repairs and maintenance in schools, but the increasing levels of enrollment in schools in some locations is leading to very high pupil-teacher ratios in lower grades particularly. SBMCs are also clearly very active advocates and activists for inclusive education. They've been able to identify new ways to ensure vulnerable children in their community are not left behind. And critical to this has been understanding the factors which prevent children from attending school, such as poverty or concerns about the safety and security of children on the way to school or even in school. So whilst I think we have a lot of evidence of community engagement and improved school governance across the country, there are many challenges that are still facing the education system in Nigeria. And I think this stakeholder conference is an opportunity for us to reflect on that and also come together with a new renewed energy and a new action plan for how we can work on this together. In 2010, Nigeria published its Nigeria Education Digest on Statistics, the NEDS report, and in that it was estimated that 10.5 million children between the ages of 6 and 14 years old were not attending school. And in 2012, Nigeria published their demographic household survey, and this confirmed that many girls and women are still excluded from going to school. Only 57% of girls in northern Nigeria are able to attend school, and less than 1 in 4, 25%, are able to transition to secondary school. And now we see in 2014 that conflict, particularly in the northeast of the country, is also becoming a determinant of access for some Nigerian children. With the recent displacement of close to 1 to 1.5 million people in northeastern Nigeria, we find that many hundreds of thousands of children are now prevented from going to school this year. I think more broadly in Nigeria, high levels of poverty and malnutrition are probably the biggest constraints to get more children into school and learning. I think it often surprises people to know that 41% of Nigerian children under the age of 5 are moderately or severely stunted, and that this number increases to 55% in northern Nigeria. So let's put that into numbers. We are talking about 11 million children in Nigeria being stunted, and stunting significantly affects a child's ability to develop a full cognitive development, to be able to learn in school. This is a huge impact on a child's potential before they even get into a classroom. Household poverty, women's education, and women's empowerment are all important predictors of whether a mother and a child will get sufficient food to allow them to thrive. Another significant challenge, which I hope we will discuss over the next couple of days, are that although we see many more children actually accessing education now, most of them are learning, unfortunately, very little in school. Recent assessments that were conducted by the Nigerian Bureau for Statistics in 4 states in northern Nigeria indicate that there are extremely low reading comprehension scores for children in primary 2 and primary 3, both in Hausa and English. So on average, only 1.5% of children can read a text in Hausa with 80% comprehension. I personally, and I hope you will agree, find that quite astounding. A recent World Bank study in 4 Nigerian states suggests that the poor management of teachers and teachers' lack of necessary skills in the classroom are probably the major hurdles for improving quality education. Teachers have scored, on average, 45% on a maths and English test, with only 4% managing to score an 80%, and this is a test for primary school children. The study has estimated that also half of those schools included in the sample did not have the minimum teaching materials available, and only 38% had a mathematics or an English textbook. I think we have to ask ourselves some serious questions about what we are asking of schools in these kind of situations. So this UBEC conference, I think it provides us with a really important opportunity to acknowledge some of these challenges, whilst we acknowledge also the substantial efforts that communities are struggling to make to address the challenges they face. I think it provides us with an opportunity for us to agree together what can we do in partnership, and what can we do, what individually can we do to work together to support communities to improve schools, and to ensure that all Nigerian children, every single Nigerian child, gets the chance to go to school and to learn. The UK remains steadfast in its commitment to work with the Government of Nigeria and to work with all Nigerians who are determined to ensure better access and learning. Thank you.